Wholesalers do the sales and marketing in the middle that fills the gap. They connect these two parties and they correct the inefficiency in the marketplace. Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Alex. I am a real estate investor, and I want to make these videos to share with you guys the challenges I'm having, the struggles I'm overcoming, with the intention that you guys can use this information to accelerate your own journey. But today I've got something just a little bit different. Today I want to ask the question, what value do wholesalers provide? One of the major reasons I want to ask this question is, a lot of people who kind of just have a surface level understanding of what wholesalers do and who they are really believe that they're just out there trying to steal grandma's equity. And a lot of agents really have a negative association with wholesalers and their inability to perform. I really do want to address that, because good wholesalers do provide a tremendous amount of value. And this negative stigma around wholesalers really only hurts sellers, and especially sellers in distressed situations. So first, let's answer the question, what do wholesalers do? Wholesalers market to a small subsect of the real estate market that might be in distress and might benefit from the services that they offer. So they reach out to owners who might not want to or might not be able to sell their houses traditionally, like on the market with a real estate agent. At that point, if and only if the wholesaler is that seller's best available option, the wholesaler and the seller will enter into an agreement. The wholesaler will then take that agreement and take it to one of their end buyers or their cash buyers. The cash buyer will perform on that agreement, and the cash buyer is willing to pay the wholesaler a fee on top of that for the services that the wholesaler provided. So what value do wholesalers provide? Wholesalers provide value to both parties in the transaction. Essentially, there's a gap, there's an inefficiency in the marketplace, right? There is all these people with distressed houses in a bad situation. They either cannot or don't want to sell it on the market with a real estate investor or real estate agent. And there is all these people who are cash buyers, investors. They want to buy these houses. There's a gap there. Wholesalers do the sales and marketing in the middle that fills the gap. They connect these two parties and they correct the inefficiency in the marketplace. They benefit the flipper and investor by allowing them to focus on flipping or rental properties or whatever they do there, right? So let's take a flipper. Flippers are very good at finding contractors, managing renovations, deciding what renovations to do, selling the properties for top dollars. Very, very good at flipping houses. A whole separate thing is actually finding these deals. So it's a completely separate business. It has really nothing to do with renovating, really nothing to do with real estate at all. It's essentially a sales and marketing business. So at that point, if you're the flipper, you have two options, right? You can essentially try to run two separate businesses, one sales and marketing business to find these deals, and two, your actual flipping business where you're actually flipping the properties. A lot of investors, I think wisely, choose to just focus on the one thing that they're good at, and they can scale that and continue to develop their skills in that. And they can just outsource this sales and marketing side to all these wholesalers who are going out and getting them the deals and just pay them a fee on top of that. So what value does a wholesaler bring to the seller? So wholesalers primarily deal in the properties that are really, the problem properties. They're not dealing with the 95% of real estate transactions that are just like the cookie cutter, beautiful, 3-bed, 2-bath, throw it on the real estate market. It's staged and looks great. That is definitely not what wholesalers are dealing in. They are dealing with the ones that, are really tough and have a lot of problems and need a lot of problem solving, and they take some serious perseverance here. So just to list off a couple of things, there's probate situations. You have to find heirs, you have to track them down, you have to get everybody to understand the process. Navigating the probate process is extremely difficult. Connecting these sellers with the correct attorneys and making them feel comfortable through that. There is pre-foreclosure, where these people have an upcoming auction and they're literally about to lose their house. Wholesalers are great at stopping auctions. We can also buy properties via creative finance to people who have negative equity, and that could certainly not sell on the traditional market. And if there's an upcoming auction, they can sell houses in days, not months, so that they can be seriously fast. So that's a huge advantage too. I've seen plenty of wholesalers, obviously the classic, arranging moving companies, cleaning companies, or just being that problem solver, filling the gaps, being that business owner, right? Solving tax issues, again, buying on seller finance, spreading out the payments, splitting up the payments into multiple different tax years to benefit the seller. And then solving tenant issues too, that's a huge one. Buying properties with non-paying tenants, buying properties with non-cooperating tenants who will not let anybody in for a showing. So it makes it very difficult to sell on market as well. So these are just a couple of examples, honestly, of what wholesalers do. But my point in saying this is that they are a problem solver for the seller, right? They figure out, that is their whole game, is figure out, what do you need? How can I help you? How can I be of value to you? Because if there's no value that the wholesaler is providing the seller's not going to work with them. There's no reason. It's not like the wholesaler is putting a gun to the head of the seller. The seller is freely choosing the wholesaler because the wholesaler is the best available option to them at that time. So what would happen if there was no wholesalers? Like, let's say we just passed a law tomorrow and banned all wholesaling. It's really only going to hurt the sellers in the distress situations. So sellers are going to have less options, less potential solutions that fit their needs, right? It's not going to affect 99% of sellers or 95% of sellers, right, who don't need wholesalers. It's going to be those people in really bad situations that they can't sell it on the market. They're in foreclosure. They have negative equity. They don't want anyone to know they're selling. They don't want any pictures of their house on the internet. They need a fast sale. They have a hard timeline. Those are the sellers that you're just going to be taking away options from. So in conclusion here, wholesalers help a small subsect of the real estate market. They provide value to both the buyers by allowing them to focus on what they're best at, and they provide value to the sellers by being a problem solver. They correct the inefficiency in the marketplace, connecting these flippers, investors to these people who have properties that would be perfect for flippers and investors. And like any other profession, there are obviously bad wholesalers and there are good wholesalers. There are bad doctors, bad mechanics, good mechanics. The unfortunate thing is that the bad ones get all the press, they get all the headlines, they get all the attention. But point being, the fact that there are bad actors in a profession is not a reason to outlaw the profession. And that's essentially my thoughts on what value wholesalers provide in the marketplace, what they do, who they benefit. Definitely let me know what your guys' thoughts are. I'd be super, super curious to hear. And let me know what you guys want to see on the next one.